try to get me to, like, because they're going to the West Coast in the morning, early in the morning. So they're extending their hotel rooms. So he was like, he's going to extend the room that I'm in as well. But before he decided to extend my room, he tried to get me to stay in his room. I'm going to tell you guys the story time of this guy taking care of me for 7 days, you know, helping me to get out of my situation and get on my feet, but then just completely telling me that he doesn't have to respond to me anymore because I'm taking advantage of him. So y'all let me know if I was taking advantage of this man. So I met him at a gas station, and I walked up to him and I asked him if he had like less than $5 for gas. I was just trying to get across town. So he told me, he said, "Where's your car?" I told him where my car was. He went over to the car and he just started filling up the tank. So I was telling him, you know, my situation, what I was going through, So we're talking or whatever. He knows my situation now. He lets me know he's not from here, but he's in town for the moment, and he's staying at this hotel. He was like, "I can get you 2 nights at the hotel or whatever. You know, I can do that for you." I was like, okay, sure. Mind you, I'm not stupid. I know that this could either stay pure or he could try to make it like a quick fuck type shit. But we all know I don't fuck or suck for money. All right, so I go to the hotel. I set up. That's what you guys see in like the first clips or whatever. I'm just showing, you know, the hotel room that he got me. He said he was going to have me in the hotel room for like 2 days. I was like, okay. After that night, he invited me down to dinner at the bar in a little restaurant area in the hotel. I go down, we talk. There he finds out that I'm a stripper and I've danced out here, but I'm not dancing out here anymore because it's just too much out here to dance as a regular dancer. You know, out here you have to be a hoe as well. You have to double as a hoe. And I'm not in that lane. So for me, dancing is not what I want to do out here, and I'm taking a break from it out here. So that's why I'm looking for regular jobs, which is why I'm, you know, needing to get on my feet right now. So he was like, you know, I hear what you're saying, you know, back in my day, because he's an older white guy. I want to say like in his mid-50s. So he was like, you know, back in my day when we used to go to the strip club, it was all about the tease. And I don't know why girls do that nowadays, where they just, you know, they sell their bodies and stuff like that. And he's saying everything that, you know, sounds right to make me trust him and stuff like that. And right. So moving forward, he invites me to dinner. First, he didn't tell me that his son was coming. He was just like, we should go out to dinner or whatever. There's this nice restaurant I go to every time I come in town. We should go to this restaurant. And I pretty much told him, you know, I don't really have anything nice to wear, so I wouldn't, you know, he told me it's a higher, upper class, like, restaurant or whatever. I don't really have anything nice to wear. He was like, oh, it's okay. I can take you to go get something. I was like, I'm not sure. He was like, just think about it. He was like, take my number. I'll be up around like 5 in the morning. So just let me know, you know, and when I get back, we can head out and we can go get you something. So I was like, all right, I'll think about it. So after we finished dinner, he finished talking. He knew pretty much everything about me. He told me about himself. I went upstairs or whatever. And then I was like, you know, I thought about it. I was like, you know what? I might as well go out and enjoy a little bit of the town, because I don't really do anything out here but work. Ever since I've been out here, I've done nothing but work. So, and try to get money. So I was like, you know what? I'll go ahead and I'll do it. So he was like, okay, you know where you want to go? He was like, let me know where you want to go. So we ended up going to the mall. I hit 2 stores. I wanted to be in and out. I did not want to stay there all day because my main focus was just getting myself stabilized and situated for myself so I can just, you know, move forward and do what I need to do with my vision or whatever. I have stuff I want to do. So got there, we went to the mall, and he was surprised at how quickly I was able to pick out stuff. And it's like, you know, if I have the money, if I have what I need, I know how to go and get what I need. Like, I I don't have to be there all day. I'm that type of person where I plan stuff, I prepare stuff. So when he said that and he was like, just let me know where you want to go, I sat there and I thought about it. Okay, where can I go? What can I get? It's cool outside. So I was like, I'm going to get me a little sweater or something. And then I'm going to get me a cute little heel and keep it moving, right? So when I went to the mall, we hit Steve Madden and we hit a clothing store. And Steve Madden, I went and I got me, first I went to the clothing store and I got me a cute sweater dress. That's what you see in the first clips. After that, I went to Steve Madden and I just wanted a cute shoe to go with that, and I was going to be done. So this is the shoe that I got. Something cute and simple. And I was going to be done. But he was like, no, go get some. He was like, get something else. So I was hesitant because I'm like, I'm really not. I would rather him spend money on something that I actually need and want to progress further in. But I was like, okay, so I'll get something else. So I ended up getting this shoe, which I'm so fucking close. You can't really see, but I ended up getting this shoe, which I think is super cute or whatever. But I'm not even really like thinking about all this shit and getting all these shoes and shit, and I'm not really interested, right? So I got those shoes and we head back to the hotel or whatever, and I get dressed. You see that in the clip or whatever. I get downstairs. He's sitting on the couch. He's waiting for his son, because his son had just flew in and came to the hotel, and he ordered a luxury Uber. Now, I didn't know this, bitch, but when you order a luxury Uber, they wait for you. So, like, wherever they take you, they wait for you at whatever restaurant or event you're at until you're done. And then, you just call them again and they come back around. We go out, we get to the restaurant, and he's, been telling me how much pull he has at this restaurant. And he also said the night that he paid for dinner at the bar at the hotel, he was like, I can get you a job there too. So I was like, okay. And he was letting me know, like, it's a really nice restaurant. Like, it's very high end. It's a really nice restaurant. So it'll get you right, like, financially or whatever. So I'm like, okay. So he was telling me how much pull he had at this restaurant, that the last time that he was there, he spent $26,000 at this restaurant. So pretty much they'll do whatever he wants them to do. Like, he pretty much kind of almost owns the place type shit. So I'm like, okay, I'm just listening to him or whatever. I'm just going along with what he's saying because, I really don't want to go out. I really just want to get my head on straight so I can pursue some money, right? But since he's talking about getting a job, I'm like, okay. So we're sitting down or whatever, and I'm just focusing on talking to his son, because when we get to the restaurant, he started saying all this honey this and honey that and honey this, and he's ordering all this food, right? And he tried to get me to eat all these damn appetizers, but I ordered an entree, and I'm trying to get to my entree, and I'm trying to tell him I can't eat all of that if I want to eat my entree. So I'm just, nibbling on different appetizers that he ordered. And he's trying to make me eat these appetizers. So I had to, like, calm him down from being on my ass about eating these fucking appetizers, because I'm trying to eat this entree when it comes. So I eat my entree barely, and then he ordered all these goddamn desserts. Now he's trying to get me to taste these desserts, and I'm just going along with it because I'm not, I'm trying to, like, just be in the moment and enjoy myself. You know what I'm saying? But I just kept having to be like, chill the fuck out. I'm like, I know you see I got a little shape going on, but I can't fit all that in me. I'm not that big. Like, I'm just, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't never tell him to order all that motherfucking food in the first place. Anyway, the entrees was like $35, $40. And then you have the desserts that are just as high, appetizers that are just as high. They ordering drinks. I don't really drink like that. I can drink, but I don't drink alcoholic beverages like that. So I was getting like little mocktails, but they were ordering drinks and shit like that, appetizers, desserts, and then it's three of us, so it was enough for all three of us. But he was ordering a lot of food. So anyway, after that, the whole time I'm sitting there waiting for him to introduce me to the people, so that I can get a job there, because he said he was going to get me a job there. At the end of it, I had went to the bathroom, and then when I came back from the bathroom, he had this weird idea that I should, like, stay in his room, while he's gone. So him and his son were getting ready to go over to the West Coast. So his whole thing was he thought that it was a good idea for me to stay in his room while him and his son went and did business, because he's an entrepreneur, went and did business over in Reno. And what I was trying to tell him is that I don't think that that's a good idea. And he was like, he felt like, you know, he didn't want to, he was like, because his electronics and things were going to be in the room, and he didn't want to pack up all his things since he was going to be coming back. And I said, well, why don't you just put your things in your truck? And he was like, because people can steal from my truck. I said, they can steal from your room too. They do it all the time. So I was just like, he was like real adamant about me staying in his room. And my thing was this: why do you want me to stay in your room so that when you come back, it's a possibility that you can see me indisposed, or that you could probably catch me in the shower, like that type of shit? I don't want you having any type of key or connection or anything to the room, because I'm not giving you nothing. Like, I'm not fucking you, I'm not sucking you, it's not gonna be no fantasy type shit where you just run into me and I'm just naked in the room. Like, I'm not doing no shit like that. You get what I'm saying? So I was just like, I don't feel comfortable with that. And then on top of that, he was like, you know, as long as you don't look through my things, you can stay in my room. I was like, I just don't feel comfortable being in a room with your things, and I don't want to be responsible for your things. Like, because I told him I'm not going to be staying in the rooms the whole time. I'm going to be going out looking for money. I ain't telling him I was going to be looking for money, but I'm going to be going out because I'm getting ready to, you know, I'm trying to find me a little bag while I'm out here. So I'm like, I'm not going to be staying in the room. So you might as well just take your things with you. So he finally was like, okay. So we get back to the hotel. He sends me the email of someone who's supposed to be a manager at this restaurant. And he was like, send your resume there. So I sent my resume to them, and they ended up leaving in the morning to go over to Reno. And he told me when we got back to the hotel, he said, and also, I also extended your stay for 5 more days. So in total, I ended up staying in the hotel for 7 days, and he paid for my parking. I was able to eat in at the hotel every morning, and it was just like, okay. But even though I did all that, my question is, was I taking advantage of him in those times? Because I never asked him for any of that. This was him overextending himself and saying he wanted to do all these things for me himself. I did not ask. I mean, it's things I could have asked him to do, and what he chose to do, that was what he wanted to do. That had nothing to do with my request. And also, my whole point of saying all this is that my New Year's resolution is to be exactly what people have been accusing me of being. And it's to do what people have been accusing me of doing, and that is to take advantage of people. I have never been the type of person that has been malicious in intent, as far as when people are helping me, I just take advantage of them, or, you know, I just mess over them. I've never been the type of person like that. I've always had compassion for people. I've always been a compassionate person, and people have always messed over me and stepped over me and treated me like shit. So my New Year's resolution, you know, from this point on for this year, is pretty much to go ahead and do what they say I be doing, which is be playing with people and be taking advantage of them and be using them. And I don't do that. I don't do that. I do what I can to be the person that I know I'm supposed to be. And when it comes to dealing with all of the foolishness and the things that, you know, people do because they can't handle who you are or what you walk in, or, you know, how you operate within yourself and how you do things for yourself, they like to try and sabotage you, stop you, block you, hinder you, stagnate you, make sure that you don't reach your goal and reach your end. It's like they let the enemy use them just like that. So my whole point of this video is pretty much to just say, this is my New Year's resolution. I'm going to be exactly what you are accusing me of being, and I'm going to prosper from it. Since I couldn't prosper the way I wanted to prosper, doing it the right way, doing it the way where I'm considerate of people, where I'm thinking of people, even though people can't handle what I say, when it comes to the way that I treat people, I don't treat people like that. I don't do people like that, especially if you helping me, literally, I tell these men, and it's been like 5 different men that have helped me in certain times and situations. And I want to say at least 3 to 4 of them have took it upon themselves to call me entitled or say that I'm taking advantage of them or talk to me like, oh, this is what you do, like you're just a manipulator type shit. And that's definitely not the case. If I come to you off rip and I let you know exactly what it is that I'm looking for because you want to talk to me and you continue to talk to me and pursue me, then you know what it is from jump. So there is no manipulation. I just told you from jump what the situation is, point blank, period. I tell you I don't suck or fuck for money. I just let you know that whatever you try to do to make it to the point where we have relations, it's not going to happen. So if I tell you that from jump and I tell you that from the beginning, how am I taking advantage of you? So this is my main point of why I said what I said when it comes to that. So picking back up where I left off, after that, I didn't hear anything from the restaurant. And I want to say my last day staying there, they actually left the morning of my last day. But he had told me, when he gave me his number, to keep in contact with him and to update him on my progress and how things go. And so, like I told you, I waited for a response from that restaurant and I never got anything back. So a month passes, I get 2 jobs, right? Working 2 jobs. I'm, going on my business, going on with my life, I moved on, haven't talked to this person or whatever. But something ended up happening where, like, I got the second job, but it was time for me to do training. And just before I was getting ready to start training, something happened where I needed to pay something off. So I messaged him. I'm like, hey, it's me, from such and such, And I just got a second job, blah, blah, blah. And I'm getting ready to start training, but I need help paying for this, or this is going to happen, So he's like, sent. He sends the money, and he was like, don't worry about it. Okay. Get through training. Things are going good. I'm making my money, saving money, And then I messaged him again because I needed help with something again. And he ended up sending me another manager from that same restaurant and telling me to call this manager to see if you can get in there because it pays really well, right? So I'm like, okay. I called the manager, straight to voicemail. So I messaged him and I'm like, he's not answering. I called the restaurant. They told me to submit my resume, that he's not there. So he's like, shoot him a message. I'm like, okay. But I said to him, look, when I start talking to him, do I use you as a reference? Do I mention your name? Because they're acting like they don't want to hire me. He was like, yes. So I'm like, okay. I message him and the manager calls me back. Talk to him. We set up a time for me to come in. I come in for the interview. He talks to me, tells me off rip he's going to give me the job because I'm referred to him by this guy. So I'm like, okay, set up a time. I go in, I bring my resume. He tells me what I need to do. And he says, come back next week. You're going to be working this position. I'm like, okay. Now, this is up to date. Remember now, at this point, I already have 2 jobs that I got by myself. So one of the jobs, I was looking for a replacement because it's just they're not paying enough for me. It's not working out. And then I was going through stuff with the employees, of course, always. Going through stuff with the employees. But this is the thing, though. It's not even me going through stuff as far as, like, competition type shit. People are trying to get me in trouble because I don't want to be their fucking friend. Like, it's that. But I already explained to y'all why these people are trying to be my friend. I can tell when these people are sick. They're trying to be my friend. Go back to the previous post. They're trying to be my friend because they're trying to latch on to what I carry. And I don't have time for that because you're not going to be taken from me because you fucked up in your life. It's like trying to have somebody, we in the same fucking position except for your salvation. I still got my salvation. We in the same fucking position. You drowning and you trying to get me to save you. Bitch, I need somebody to save me. What the fuck I'm saving you for? That's what Jesus is for. But if you can't reach Jesus, that's not my problem. But moving forward. So the day that I come back from the interview where the guy set up the job for me, the manager had told me to come back next week. That's in 2 more days, right? So I'm like, okay. The next day I have work. So I messaged the guy to tell him, okay, I got the job that I'm going to be doing. He told me how much it's going to be paying, And he's like, come back next week. so he was like, okay, good, you got it, da 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 da, like acting like he's like pumping me up and stuff like that. I was running low on cash, so I asked him if he can send me some money. He sent me some money and was like, you know, was encouraging me, like, you know, you're gonna do great, da 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 da. Now at this point, again, am I taking advantage of him? Or am I taking him on his word when he told me to stay in contact with him and update him on how my progress is going? Keep in touch with him. So if I'm keeping in touch with him and telling him how my progress is going, if something is not going right and I need help with something and then you help me, how is that taking advantage of you? Okay. So the next day I have work, right? At one of my 2 jobs. So the job that's not, you know, really doing what it needs to be doing, they end up firing me. So I got the opportunity that the guy set up, but the very next day, which is New Year's Eve, this New Year's Eve, they fired me at the end of my shift. I had gotten into it with some employees on the job, one of them being a nigga, just talking to me at the side of his neck, talking about something, hey, you girl, hey, you, like just talking to me like reckless. So I did the same thing to him. It was like, hey, boy, hey, you, hey, you, boy. And I'm like, you're going to have to fix the way that you talking to me. And he was like, well, I didn't know your name. And so we got into an argument from there. But the argument, he took the argument to the point of he looked like he was trying to, he wanted to put his hands on me. So I said it. I said, you look like you want to hit me. So what's up? So he was like, so he walked up on me and was like, no, what do you want to do? And, you know, he was a little flaming bag of hot Cheetos. And it got to the point where they had to pull him back because he really was trying to take it there. And it's like, if certain people would go through shit like that, the establishment would never hear the end of it. Whenever I get into situations like that, I take it to management and wait for management to do what they need to do. I follow protocol. Wait for management to do what they're going to do. And if they don't do what they need to do, then I'll make my decision from there. But I don't walk around complaining about it. I don't walk around gossiping about it. I'm not there for that. I'm there for the money. I'm not there for any friendships, nothing like that. So the day that they fired me, they start bringing up all this other shit. I spoke about that once, and that was with one manager. And that manager said that they were going to reprimand that employee for doing that. And I never heard anything else about it after that. I'm sitting down while they're firing me, and they're saying, you just don't seem like you're happy here. And then they start bringing up different things that were happening with the employees that I never said anything about. And so when I'm telling them the reason why these things were happening, then they're like, oh, well, I can't rearrange my whole staff for you. And it's like, who the fuck asked you to rearrange your staff for me? As a manager, you don't have to rearrange staff. You have to hold staff accountable. And if they cannot comply with what you're saying to hold them accountable, then they need to go. Like, it don't have shit to do with you rearranging nothing. But because they have their own personal people that they like and that they, you know, that they have relationships with, I don't give a fuck about none of that. You can have all of that. Y'all could be best friends outside of here. I don't give a fuck about none of that. As long as you don't fuck with my motherfucking money, I don't have a problem with that. And you stay out my damn face unnecessarily. The issue is people always want to be in my fucking face. Like, I don't want you trying to be my friend. I don't want you trying to tell me what to do. None of that. Don't say nothing to me. You do your job and I'm going to do my job. The issue is when people be trying to be in my business and be in my face. That's the problem. Anyway, so he started trying to give this whole explanation. He tried to include the other manager who I always work with, but she didn't have any complaints except that day, because that day was going kind of wacky anyway. She doesn't really have any complaints about me as far as my attitude. Not that she be cracking jokes with me and shit like that. But his ass, he only worked with me 2 times. And now he's saying every time he just has noticed that I'm not happy there, but you never work with me. So, but anyway, I told him, I said, you don't need to explain nothing to me. I said, if this is your decision, everything that I was supposed to do, I did. I don't have any regrets about how I did what I did. And I said, I'm going to say something. If people are doing things that they're not supposed to do, I'm going to open my mouth. And I think the problem is that people can't handle when I say something. So he was like, well, he kept trying to explain. I said, I don't need an explanation. If that's your decision, then that's your decision. So he made his decision and we parted ways. Okay. So I reached out to let, even though that job was slow, I was still of course, I'm using the fucking money. So I reached out to him again, to this guy, and I'm telling him what happened because it was New Year's Eve. He doesn't respond. I said, okay. Maybe he's with his family. Because I had messaged him and I had called him. He didn't respond. But he was just talking to me on the 30th. It's the 31st, but he was just talking to me on the 30th. I said, okay. So I messaged him on New Year's and I called him on New Year's. He didn't respond. So I called him the next day. He didn't respond. I messaged him today. I said, hey, this is such and such. I just got fired from my job. This happened. Remember, I'm updating him. He told me to update him. Keep in touch with him. Update him on how things are going. I'm updating him. Told him I got fired. This happened. I thanked him for setting up the opportunity for me at the high-end restaurant. And I was like, I just need your help with this because I'm trying to make it to that opportunity. So I'm like, I need your help with this. So when he responded this time, he said, yes, I got your messages. And I didn't respond because you're taking advantage of me. Okay, so when I walked up to him initially and just asked him for less than $5 for gas, did I take advantage of him, guys? When he decided to fill up my whole gas tank? Or when he decided to put me up in a hotel for 2 days? Did I take advantage of him at that point? Or when he decided to take me on a shopping spree because he wanted me to go out to dinner with him and his son to a high-end restaurant, was I taking advantage of him then? Even when he took me shopping and I was like, no, I'm okay, I don't even need all that, and he still wanted me to get more things, was I taking advantage of him then? And even when he set up the job opportunity for me the first time and it didn't go through, and I left him alone and I didn't call him, I didn't text him or anything like that, but I let him be, I'm just going to thug it out and do what I need to do. Was I taking advantage of him then, or was I being considerate? Or when he extended my stay at the hotel for 5 more days, was I taking advantage of him then, or was he just overextending himself? And then when I called back to update him to let him know I was making progress, I had got more jobs, I just needed help with this, was I taking advantage of him? Or was I updating him like he told me to do because he know I don't have nobody out here? Let me ask you this. If you meet somebody and when you meet them, they need your help, and then you tell them, if you need anything, just take my number, update me on how things are going. And then when they do that, how do you get upset? If you met me like that, and while you're continuously talking to me, the positioning of the situation is you are helping me. If I was sitting here calling him for big lump sums of money to go to Gucci and to go to Prada and to go to Louis and to go to all these fucking places and to go to Tiffany's and to go to, like, if I was calling him and asking him for fucking Birkin bags and shit like that, then I would be taking advantage of him, because who the fuck need you? I don't need that. But if I'm calling you because I'm trying to get somewhere and something devastating just happened to have me out here with nothing, how the fuck is that taking advantage of you? You see me making strides. You see me working hard to do what I need to do to take care of myself. How is that taking advantage of you? How am I taking advantage of this man? So when he said that, I put it together that, he probably thought to himself, he's going to leave me in 2025. Things that he don't want to deal with, he's going to leave in 2025. And what he said to me is, he said he doesn't have to respond to me because I'm taking advantage of him. And when I broke everything down to him and said, how am I taking advantage of you? He said, well, you know what? I have 5 children and 4 grandchildren. I'm sorry, I can't help you anymore. I said, okay, understood. But see, that's all you had to say in the first place. So because you don't owe me that, then I don't owe you not saying anything. So what I'm going to do, because I still have this last little thing, if the job opportunity that he set up for me suddenly doesn't work out, then I'm posting all of his information on the internet. Because I'm tired of people being wishy-washy with me and being flip-flop with me. And So this is the something told me, and something told me to print out the receipt of the hotel stay that he paid for. So it has his name, it has his address, it has my name as the additional guest on the room, and it has how many days I stayed. So at the end of it, he had me at the Embassy Suites by Hilton Hotel. At the end of it, it came out to, I don't know if you can see that, but it came out to $1,419.46 for 7 days. And for somebody that has a wife, five children, which are grown, by the way, and 4 grandchildren, you certainly wasn't thinking about that when you was taking me on a shopping spree and talking to me about strippers and sugar daddy and all this type of shit like that. You wasn't thinking about that. And I wasn't taking advantage of you then, right? So why the fuck, when I start making strides, is it a problem for me to do what you told me to do? This nigga was just talking to me on the 30th. So I said, my New Year's resolution is I'm going to just start putting people on blast. I got his information. I got text messages. I got cash apps that he sent me. Like, if I was sitting pretty, if I was sitting somewhere in a house and I had different cars and shit like that, and I didn't have to work, and I'm just texting you and asking you for fucking money, that's understood. But the understanding was you were helping me to get on my feet. How the fuck is that taking advantage of you? You're the one telling me you got all this money here, you got all this pull here. How am I taking advantage of you? Y'all, I don't get it. But he's not the only nigga that has done that to me out here. And I get it. People hear stripper or they see stripper. They think you gonna fuck. When you tell them you're not gonna fuck, and then you actually don't fuck, then it becomes a problem. But I'm gonna tell y'all this. Finish the assignment. When it come to me, finish the assignment. If you start to help me, see it all the way through. The problem is they start off with all this talk about how much they got, how much they want to do. And when I tell you straight up, I don't fuck or suck for money, and you continue to walk that shit through, instead of just saying, look, this is not going to work. If you a trick, be a trick. If you a trick, be a trick. If you a daddy, be a daddy. If you a sponsor, be a sponsor. But don't get mad when you don't get what you want and you didn't say, and you're not being direct and straightforward with what you're trying to get. Because I would have cut it. Because when he tried to get me to stay in his room, I told him I wasn't comfortable with that, and I'm not doing that. But I had already previously told him that I don't fuck or suck for money, so I don't even know why you would subtly try to sneak that in. Because why the fuck am I going to stay in your room? Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out of here. Finish the assignment. Don't get to the point where you start trying to tear down someone's character because you didn't get what the fuck you wanted. I told this nigga from the get-go what I needed from him. And he overextended himself and did above and beyond because he wanted to. That's not my fucking problem. When you start giving out of your dick and you start, thinking out of your dick and doing all that, that's not my problem. That's you. I told you what it was and what I would not be doing. And you did above and beyond because you wanted to. So to close this out, y'all, if the opportunity that he set up for me gets reneged, I'm putting this nigga information on the internet. Because why tell me you gonna do all this shit, or I can reach out to you and I can contact you and I can do all this stuff, if that's not really what you mean? When I came to you on some real shit. I needed help. I could do shit on my own, but when you're on your own and you constantly got people trying to take from you, it's like getting jumped. You can only fight off so many motherfucking people. Like, I go through too much at one time, and it's just things that I don't need. I don't have time for this shit. There's a couple of other niggas that I'm gonna post their shit to, and that's just the type of person that I'm gonna be, because people keep playing with me, and I've never been that type of person. But I'm gonna be that type of person to teach y'all to stop fucking with people like that. If you're gonna help somebody, finish the assignment, help them like you say you're gonna help them, and then you move on with your life. But don't tell them they can reach out to you and they can call you and they can do this and they can do that, and then you don't follow through on what you said. That's it. Happy New Year.